Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this video is 7 awesome things about Aquarius. And of course, Aquarius is a fixed air sign, and it is based in the intellectual area of life. So Aquarians don't tend to be reactive in terms of the emotions. They tend to be very abstract, and they like to solve their problems through their mind rather than trying to emotionally cope with life. And so that is where they're coming from. So these are 7 qualities that we could associate, not just with Aquarius sun, it could be with the moon sign. I have Venus in Aquarius, and so Venus is the way that you love. The moon is the way that you feel, the way that you express emotions. The rising sign is how you present yourself. Janis Joplin was a Capricorn, although a late degree Capricorn, and she had Aquarius rising, which gave her this wild personality, but she had the moon in Cancer, and her sun was in Capricorn, and she did have that more traditional side to her. So the rising sign can really be prominent. And, in other words, other people can really see that part of the person and come to, draw conclusions based on that. So the rising sign can be important with Aquarius. And, so Mars in Aquarius, the way that somebody acts. So number 1 is Aquarians are one of a kind. They're nonconformists. I put that together, because I do think it is pretty similar. When I say that they're one of a kind, and that is an awesome thing about them, is that you're not going to get a cookie cutter person with the sign of Aquarius. And unfortunately, society tends to reward people who conform to whatever the norms are, the societal norms. And they tend to shun, or at the very least give a hard time to, people who push the envelope, do not want to be like other people, kind of question the herd of sheeple. And that's Aquarius. So they may sometimes go out of their way to look different or act differently than other people. But it's done by design, because Aquarians are ruled by the planet Uranus. And this is a planet that deals with erratic behavior, eccentric things, and surprising, surprises. So they want to surprise other people. They want to kind of shock people out of their complacency. Maybe they don't even know that on the surface, but I think a lot of Aquarians are savvy enough to know why they're doing what they're doing. And the reason that this benefits all of us is that it can be inspirational. Maybe it'll get you to step outside of your comfort zone when it comes to being who you truly are. Number 2, ingenious. Well, we can say that Aquarians are highly intelligent. They tend to be, at least. But when I say ingenious, they also may come up with great ideas. Now, this may be in the realm of just about anything, but I was specifically thinking of inventions. Now, it doesn't have to be inventing the light bulb or anything like that, which, by the way, Thomas Edison was an Aquarius, from what I recall. Now I say from what I recall because I did get something wrong in the past, but I do believe he was an Aquarius. Now, this could involve rigging something to work that you need to work. Like if you have something that you need to make work and you don't have the exact object, an Aquarian can come along and jerry-rig something and get the job done that way. In other words, they're very handy to have around because they may know about how things work, be mechanically minded and be able to improvise when it comes to certain things that need to be done, and they do it in their own way. And it's coming from having an original mind. And so intelligence is nice, but it only goes so far. It should be practical, shouldn't it? And practical intelligence would involve being able to devise things that help us live our lives and being able to do so on the fly. So if you were in some kind of a emergency situation and an Aquarius is nearby, chances are they may be able to help the situation by thinking outside of the box and creating some kind of, makeshift device or what have you. Number 3, egalitarian. So I just got done doing Libra's video for this series. And I was talking about how Librans are very fair-minded and they can see all sides of an issue, and therefore they make good judges because of this. And I believe that. But I would add that Aquarius, being egalitarian, may even take it a step further. Because it's one thing to be able to see different sides of an issue, but it's another to be able to value different ways of living. So somebody who is a Libra, they may be able to understand another person's point of view, but can they really respect it? I don't know. Maybe they can. But Aquarius is a natural humanitarian. So they tend to be people who do not place value judgments on whatever decisions people decide to make, in terms of how they live their lives. So an Aquarius person can easily fit into different circumstances, whereas I'm not sure that a sign like Libra would be able to, because Aquarius really enjoys exploring different cultures, different mindsets. And there is that detachment there where they don't really, they don't really care that, how to rate these cultures or these different types of individuals. They can see the positive traits in each society. Actually, this can oftentimes, I would think, although I haven't done my own polling or anything like that on it, that Aquarius does tend to date and settle down with people outside of their race or ethnicity or nationality. Because things that are outside of their own social construct may be very appealing to Aquarius. Okay, number 4, psychic. Now that's something that a lot of people would probably not know. Aquarians are naturally very intuitive. Now it won't be the same as a water sign individual like a Pisces. The water sign people have, because of their strong emotions, they tune into emotions of other people. And there's that, it's like the heart chakra, the empathic nature, tuning into a person's energy field in that sense. With Aquarius, it's all in the mental realm. And I think sometimes that can be superior. Again, I haven't done any polling, but just by using my logic, I would suggest that it might be more accurate or helpful, because when you're tuning in emotionally, it's very hard not to be subjective. And I notice this when I'm watching YouTube videos with people who claim to be psychic, is that a lot of times it's kind of interesting how their own opinions seem to kind of bleed into the actual reading, whereas Aquarius doesn't have those kinds of strong emotional responses, so they're much more objective, and therefore they can receive information and communicate it without a lot of their own stuff or their own emotions clouding their reception of the information. Number 5, DramaFree Zone, which is very appreciated, I'm sure. Air signs like Aquarius are not really interested in emotion. They don't worship emotions. Now, I said emotions. I didn't say negative emotions, because if you get very touchy-feely and, sugary, sweet, corny with an Aquarian, it might not go over very well. Even if you're married for 15 years, have been together for 15 or 20 years. Sentimentality may be seen as a liability, as something that drags people down and makes them irrational even. So Aquarians want to use their minds to solve their problems, including their relationship issues. And so I often joke that the air signs like to go to therapy because they could talk about their feelings. Mind you, I didn't say feel their feelings, talk about them. Well, of course, this can cut both ways, and this can be something that is actually not that great if it's taken to the extreme. But if we just look at it overall, it's nice to be able to separate oneself from their emotions and be able to, like, if there is a problem, deal with it, but not have this intensity of feeling or this, about their world being turned upside down. Now, that doesn't mean that Aquarians don't have feelings and that they can't ever get upset. So I don't want to convey that at all. But I'm talking about habitually doing so, like some other people who shall not be named have a tendency to do. Number 6, broad-minded. So that might kind of overlap when I talk about egalitarian. One thing maybe I could say that is going to be a little bit different so that I don't repeat myself. Obviously, when I say broad-minded, I mean tolerant of different points of view, not needing whatever their culture, their upbringing, their social class to be the end-all be-all, and treating people that way. It's one thing to say, I'm tolerant, I'm liberal, I'm progressive, and I've seen way too many examples of that person being a total hypocrite. I'm very, I'm imitating somebody else. I'm very progressive. I'm very liberal. Oh, you're a Christian fundamentalist Republican. Okay, well, you suck and you're evil. I'm kind of joking, but that's the exact thing that people do on a regular basis. Or you could even say, if somebody's a Christian fundamentalist Aquarius, I'm so broad-minded, and they are still spouting a lot of dogma about, who's damned to hell and who isn't. So it can work both ways for sure. But I wanted to just bring in another point, because I think I kind of overlapped with saying broad-minded, and a visionary, a visionary looking into the future. And I think I was kind of reminded about that one, because when I was talking about a drama-free zone, one of the problems that people often have with their emotions is they get bogged down in them and they get stuck in the past, and it's very hard for them to see ahead. Remember that the past is history, the future is a mystery, and the present is a gift. Well, you know, I'm kind of contradicting myself because I'm actually praising the future. The past is definitely history. The future is a mystery, but that doesn't mean that we can't enjoy the mystery and even speculate on the mystery. And Aquarians do seem to always have a far-off gaze where they're thinking about some science fiction-y kind of a thing, and that is that visionary trait that they have. So I think that that is wonderful because it's very expansive, and whenever you're future-oriented, it means that you are moving forward. You're not stuck. And number 7 is independent. And I have been saying this over and over again with certain signs. And being independent is really nice for the other person in a relationship, because then you have somebody who is not going to be kind of like suffocating you, treating you like you're their property. Aquarians will grant space. They want it. They may even suggest an unusual type of domestic setup. They might say, hey, you have your house, I have my house. What about if we, even though we're a monogamous couple, let's just keep our houses, and then every third day we'll spend the night at one of our houses. You know, so they might create this unusual setup for the relationship, but regardless, even if you live under the same roof, you won't have to worry that this person is not capable of amusing themselves, or that they will lean on you too much for company and things like that, because we all need space. And even people who think that they are very people-oriented, you need space too. You just may not realize it or appreciate it, but you do need space, and you should definitely honor that within yourself. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading with astrology, please click on the link below. Take care, everyone. Bye.